I've been thinking about this concept of model building and the implications that it has for instance, good design of different products. And three products come to mind when I think of good versus bad model building. And these are cars, office chairs, and doors. With a car, you can basically sit in anybody's car, whether it be yours or somebody else's, and I'm sure you've done this before. You put the key in the ignition, turn it on, and drive away. Even if it's somebody else's car, you already know how it works. If you're driving your friend's car, it works just as well as driving your own car. You expect that by your right foot there will be a gas pedal on the right and a brake pedal on the left, and you don't even think of them as different pedals. You just essentially use them, and by the time you get halfway down to your destination, you have turned the key in the ignition, you've been using the pedal, you've adjusted the stereo. How did you know that the stereo was where it was? Essentially, you've built a model of what a car is, and most car manufacturers follow this model. And you can you can basically be asleep at the wheel, never even noticing that you're using a car. Because in a sense, in your own mind, you're using a model of a car that exists in your mind, and most cars, every car, fits that model very well. Contrast that with an office chair, and everybody has a model of an office chair in their mind, and they know that in order to adjust the height of a chair, you take your right hand, reach down underneath the chair, and pull a lever up. For some reason, manufacturers of office chairs have sought to foil this model that we have, and they seem to put this lever in all kinds of different places. Sometimes it's not even a lever. Sometimes there's a screw under there, and who knows how to use that screw. Never seems to do anything. But you're constantly foiled and you're constantly discovering that the model that you have of an office chair is not right. And this wakes you up to the fact that you have a poor model of what an office chair is. And think of this in terms of a door. The best door that exists is one where you don't even know that you're using a door. A door serves a function, and you have a model of how a door works, and visual cues are usually good enough to alert you to how the door actually works, and you can pass through it without even thinking about it. I can't remember what the video was, but there was a video where somebody was describing this door that they have in their studio, and people are constantly just slamming into this door because the door does everything to give you visual cues to make you think that it works in a way that it doesn't. And so people are constantly just trying to push the door open, and they just run right into it because it gives you all the visual cues of a door that you push. Or maybe it's the other way around. And so this idea of model building that goes on in your head, which is a part of the dopamine-driven system, it builds a model of the world around you that essentially everybody knows that you drive based on habit, because visual cues essentially you can essentially stay asleep while using an office chair, while using a door, while using a car, and you never wake up because your model of the world is usually good. And a stressful life is one where your models are wrong, where you essentially don't have a good model. And this is a good idea. This is the way that you judge whether or not your education was good, whether or not the design of the product is good. Essentially, if you're a website designer, or if you're a designer of a product, essentially think, how can this product be used while someone is asleep? How can a website be used while someone is asleep? Is my website Where's my product fitting the model? What is somebody coming to my web page to do? And can they do it without barely even thinking? The menu will be accessible through a button that you can click on the top left of the web page. And essentially, if the person never wakes up because their model of a website or a model of your product is good, then you've designed the product well. And people don't tolerate a whole lot of stress. We get frustrated very easily. And so something to consider, this idea of model building is built into our brains. It's a part of the very old parts of our brain. We build models, and we don't expect to be able to have to think very hard when we're doing things. We tolerate stress when we're in new places, but if we're doing something old, like sitting in an office chair adjusting the height, we don't tolerate much frustration. So that's what I've been thinking about. See you next time.